Hello, everyone. I welcome you to this new episode where I have a special guest, Jara Geipel, with me. She's a hypnotherapist and a money mindset coach. So, how are you, Yara?
I'm good. Thank you so much. And I'm very excited to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Tell us a little about yourself, your work, what made you start this business and come in this line of work.
Yeah. So, first of all, I live in Germany, in the south of Germany with my family, and I've got two kids. And yeah, I'm a hypnotherapist and money mindset coach. It's my mission to help women in business to heal their relationship to money because our money mindset, our energetical state around money has a huge impact on how we are able to create money and success in our life. So, how I got into this is I've been like a spiritual person, a deep thinker my entire adult life. But there was one moment, I think I was 19, and I read the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And that was a moment where I felt like, oh, wow, that hits the spot for me. That goes deeper. And yeah, from then on, I really started this journey of personal development and dove deep into different topics, meditation, Buddhism, psychology, human behavior, and all that fascinated me. And of course, um, along the way, I started to really work deeply on myself and, yeah, heal and overcome issues, fears, money blocks as well. It's been almost a lifelong journey, like my entire adult life. And yeah, as it is for most of us, when we manage to overcome something, we just want to share that with others. I experienced huge challenges in my life and really dark moments and deep fears, fears of losing, fear of losing money, fear of losing people, fear of losing my children and many other issues as well, frustration or feeling not good enough, or yeah, we all face more or less such topics and issues in life, right? And when I started to really work deeper on that and understood that what really makes you create success in life, even happiness, or money in your business is who you are being. It is your inner state of being. It's your energy. And of course, that also comes from our mind, our state of mind, our stories, our thoughts. And yeah, that is what I do now. I'm, of course, still on that journey of clearing more and more because as we grow, as we also up level in life and in business, we discover more, right?
This podcast is about people who are grieving, who have lost something. And
Yeah.
if you lose someone, that's a time when a lot of emotions show up, especially the feeling of loss and scarcity. And of course, one thing that really hits people who lose a loved one is often related to money. It can show up as a money block,
Mhm.
it can show up as scarcity, it can show up as not having enough in terms of the future. Because if you lose someone today, and you think about what the future is going to look like without that person, then definitely feelings of deprivation, loss, scarcity, and of course, the relationship with money. These are all the things that trouble people who are grieving. So, how do you think that hypnotherapy can address these emotions?
Yeah, that's such a good question. First of all, what I want to add to this is maybe that through the years of doing this work on the relationship to money, I also discovered and also worked with people on, like, we discovered the similarities, between our relationship to money and our relationship to people, to our partner. And of course, when we lose someone, um, that impacts our entire being. That means it also impacts other areas of our life. So I actually love that you mentioned that because if you lose, for example, a loved person, um, of course, there's also insecurities coming up, right? You get triggered on a very, very deep level. And that impacts, on the other hand, then the other areas of your life, like also your business or your financial situation. How hypnotherapy can help there is hypnotherapy, like the state of hypnosis is a very deeply relaxed state in which we are, in a lower brainwave state. So we have access to the subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is very suggestible, and it's that hidden part in our brain that has everything stored. Also, our experiences, our emotions, patterns, trauma. And with hypnotherapy, we can go deep, we can discover what is in our subconscious mind. That means the things that get triggered, the fears. That is what we can access and what we can really find out, because it comes from somewhere. And just for example, when you lose a loved one, everyone responds in a little bit of a different way, right? Because we get triggered in a different way, because we are different, because we have different experiences. So with hypnotherapy, we really go deep and discovering where does that actually come from, because it's most likely that what is getting triggered. When we can do the work around that and heal that which comes from way back, from your childhood or even from other lifetimes, it becomes also easier to deal with what is in front of you and the situation that you are facing right now.
So what simple strategies can you think that grieving individuals they can use to start breaking free from financial fears?
One of the most important things I think is really becoming present with yourself, but also with your mind. And practicing being mindful actually, and becoming aware of what's going on in your mind, because we are telling ourselves a lot of stories, and all these stories, when we say, oh, I can't afford that, I don't have enough, or that success is not available to me, I can't do this, I'll never get there, or I'm not worthy of this, those are stories in our mind, and they influence how we feel, and our feelings, they influence our actions. First of all, becoming aware of what's going on in your mind, and then shifting our focus onto what we have right now. Also, when someone is, for example, grieving or very sad, I went through a burnout in my life where half year I was like only crying, and I didn't lose anyone, but I was really in a state. And what helped was to force myself to find one thing that brings me joy. And even if it's just a flower or the tree outside of the window in that room where I was, like when you really focus on what brings you joy and on what you have, what you can be grateful for. That can be another person, or just maybe that you're healthy, or just a little thing that you have in your room that just brings you joy, where you feel like, oh, wow, I'm grateful for this. Or when it's about money, you might have little money, or you might not have the money to purchase what you want, but you do have money. And you do have other things like, food, a home, maybe a car, or, like whatever it is, you have a lot.
Definitely.
And when you can shift your focus onto what brings you joy and what you are grateful for, you can develop these feelings in your heart, and you can feel like, oh, wow, thank you, I actually have this. And I feel also joy for this or for that. And that changes your mind and also your feeling and your energy.
Okay, so now I'm about to ask you something personal. If I may ask, Yara, can you share if grief has shown up in your life?
Um, I actually haven't lost a close person yet in my life.
Okay.
Well, my grandmother died last year, but and it was like sad and I cried and were some feelings of grief, but not that deep, not like when you lose someone who is closer to you. So I haven't really experienced that. I mean, as I mentioned to you before, and we spoke a bit about that before, I went through intense time in my life with the fear of losing love. It never really happened, but somehow, through also some old stories within me, I went through the fear of losing my son and then losing my partner. And now actually my son is 9.5, and 3 weeks ago he moved out of the home. So I feel like I haven't lost him, but I had to let go. So I'm sure that's a bit different and it's not as deep and intense, but yeah, I think it touches this feeling probably.
Yes, it definitely does because whenever our reality changes in terms of the fact that something that was with us for a certain period of time, it is no longer with us, that really
Yeah,
shifts our reality. And what we have to
yeah,
do after that is it's a shift of perspective and acceptances. After you have lost your loved one and your whole situation and your reality changes, and amongst all the changes there is of course this new changed relationship with the financial status that people find themselves in.
yeah,
What can you,
yeah.
like, a few tips that you can tell the people who are watching?
Yeah, there are a couple of things. So the one thing is that I really see and believe that we need to look inwards because we run around in this world. We chase, love, success, money. We feel like we need to do a lot for that. We need to work harder. And as much as it's very important to take action, we're not going to get the real answers in the external world. So the deeper we can connect to ourselves or spirit or, God, higher power, doesn't matter which, religion or what your belief is, just this, let's say, higher power, that's also within you. The deeper we can connect there, the more we can find like a ground under our feet, and also a sense of security or that we are okay, even though crazy things happen outside of us. Or when it comes to the money as well, that it starts with inner riches. So the more you can actually feel good with yourself and content and joyous with what you have right now. And that might not be always easy. I totally understand. Most of my life, I didn't have enough money because I come from a very, like, let's say, poor background. Um, so it's not easy when you don't have much. But the thing is, nothing's going to change. You don't change your feeling within you. So if you can come to a place where you feel content and joyous just with what is, with life itself,
Absolutely.
you feel better, you change yourself, and we don't get in life what we want, but we get and receive in life who we are, like the energy, the frequency that we are, and that can actually inspire us, no matter what the situation looks like, to really come back to ourselves, connect, and learn to feel better within ourselves because, yeah, that's going to create the change.
Well, what you have said is simply incredible because, see, that's exactly the thing that whenever we find ourselves in trouble, in adverse circumstances, we always look at other people, the outside world for help. We always find solutions the moment we try to look inward, like you said, and connect with what is
Exactly.
inside us, connect with who we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, looking outside of us only makes it worse because you create this separation. And also then we start to compare to others, but also what worked for others might not work for us. We are different. So we need to find our own way. And also I really believe, that we have a purpose here and each one of us has incredible power and energy and light, and more than ever, actually, each one of us is called to step into this, yeah, showing up powerfully, just the way you are. And of course, that also comes back to the connection that we have with ourselves inside.
Yeah, incredible, amazing, amazing. So, Yara, How can people reach out to you? Can you please tell, like through social media or however?
Yes, the best way to find me is actually on my Facebook profile. And I think we'll put the link probably here under this so they can find it. I also have a free Facebook group where there is a lot of value and events and free support, if those are
Yeah, your
topics.
events are absolutely amazing because I have attended those. Yeah.
Yeah, and you are one of those amazing people who attended a couple of my events. We also had a call and you actually shifted some of your situation and your mindset just so yeah, check out the link and also my group. You can put the group link here as well. And yeah, I'm so excited to connect with you.
Oh, so it has been amazing having you here, Yara. Any last thoughts, any last words before we before I turn off the recording?
Well, I actually shared these pieces I wanted to share. Yeah, just thank you so much for this opportunity to share a little bit about myself and my work. And yeah, there's always hope. You can always change something, but the change needs to come from you, from within you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Yara, for taking out the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it was a total pleasure to have you. Remember, even in the face of grief, rebuilding a relationship with money is possible. It's about taking small, intentional steps towards healing, not just emotionally, but also in how you approach your life's practicalities. And these shifts can open doors to a future that feels abundant even after loss. We're here to remind you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to light and growth. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, take care of yourself and others around you.